Well, what's the focus last couple of weeks? I mean, good first half, obviously, against Richmond last week. What's the message to the boys now just to sort of see out the year?
Yeah, we think we've learned a couple of really good lessons in the last 2 weeks, mate, against the Cats and the Tigers. So, again, coming up to, a renowned, strong team, prides itself on contested ball playing finals. So, it's a really great challenge for us. We feel like we've got really good energy in our environment at the moment. The players are really keen to get out there again, mate, and, address, that second half, drop away. So, we've got some clear targets that we want to hit in the next couple of weeks, and we certainly want to finish the next 2 weeks with, full of energy and continuing to improve. So great opportunities for us to, again, take on another finalist this week and just continue to learn.
How much is I know you probably don't message this to the boys, but how much does the wooden spoon debate and the finishing last on the ladder come into the equation, and how much does that prove to motivation in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, look, I'll be really honest. We haven't discussed that at all. It's not even something that we bring up and discuss and say, what are we doing with this or that? We've just continued to look at how we played in that first quarter, what we need to do to address, some of the elements in the second half. I thought we actually battled our way quite well into the three-quarter time. We kicked the first goal out of three-quarter time. We're back within 5 points. So they're more, to be honest, mate, they're more the things that we talk about internally. It's, okay, so how do we now get the lead out of that sort of situation and creating that? So the narrative around that is, I think, to be fair, is more from the media's perspective. We don't, and that's been really honest, we don't talk about that internally at all. And I think, I've mentioned this a few times, I think if you came down and were lucky enough to be part of our environment and see what goes on and how we function, you wouldn't think we are positioned where we are on the ladder. That's our energy is high, our motivation is strong. Our thirst to continue to improve is nearly at an all-time high for the year.
Yeah, there's been a couple of youngsters on the emergency list over the last couple of weeks in Charlie Comben and Phoenix Spicer. Did any of them get a debut over the last fortnight?
Well, they're certainly putting heaps of pressure on. There's no doubt about that. Phoenix, I think, is in really good form. Charlie's done an unbelievable job to get back into contention, from where he started at the beginning of the year, mate. So, yeah, look, based on the fact that we're playing more consistently at AFL level, we've now got some guys in really good form. I think R2 was in good form again. Ats, went back and played well. Lockie Young. So there's a bunch of them, but those two guys that haven't made their debut, look, if their form's good enough and there's a position that warrants it, then, they'll come into the consideration in the next couple of weeks.
How much has Charlie done to get to where he is now? I mean, his injury history has obviously been very well storied, but for him to be actually in a position where he potentially could make the jump up to senior footy this week, how much of that is a credit to the work he's done?
Yeah, well, he's probably in the top 3 or 4 that I've dealt with that, as far as being driven, the amount of drive that he's got and determination to get himself to this point has been staggering. His positivity around his belief in his body, his ability, and then to be able to, allow him to be settled in his body and let that take a bit of time to heal this year. He's like a lot of those young guys, mate. He's very impatient, but he's shown some really good signs. His level of competitiveness is really good. He's got a capacity to play forward and, probably a little bit of ruck in that sense. Not sure that he's ready to do that just yet, with where his growth and his development and his strength capacity is. But, yeah, he's overcome some personal adversities as well. He lost his mum within the last 12 months as well. So it's been an unbelievable journey. And a real shining light, I think, for a young man to aspire to continue to believe in and aspire to his dream.
Is Pat Walker a chance? I mean, obviously taking the rookie list this year, but he's been in good form in the twos. Would he be a chance of making the step up over the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, that's a good shout out, mate. I didn't mention Paddy before, but he's certainly, we've played him through the wing and half back, and he's looked really comfortable as the second half of the year's unfolded. Great user of the ball. We love his run. And probably it's that he's got that really nice finish going inside 50. So that ability to finish off those plays. So he's certainly another one of those guys. Look, and I think Charlie Lazaro, again, I didn't mention him, but he's had a bit of a run through the year. But again, his form on the weekend. So we've got a handful of those young guys that. And that's what we've loved. The energy of those guys to continue to put that pressure on has been fantastic. But yeah, certainly Paddy's in that mix as well, mate.